Hello. In this video, we're going to demonstrate finding and using subject headings in Ovid Medline and Ebsco CINAHL. Let's start with Ovid Medline. First, we make sure that the Map Term to Subject heading box below the search bar is checked off. Then we type in the term that we want to find a subject heading for. From our example, we're going to look for a subject heading for prostate cancer, then hit search on the right-hand side. The next page will show us a list of subject headings that appear frequently in records that use the term we typed in. In our case, there's only one, prostatic neoplasms, but sometimes there will be a longer list. If this happens, we can look through the list and choose something that appears to mean the same thing as the term we typed in. When we see a subject heading that looks relevant to the term we're looking for, check out the scope note by clicking on the circle on the right-hand side. Scope notes provide information about how the database is using a subject heading, and it lets us check to see if a subject heading will find the articles that we want to find. In this case, we can see the definition, tumors or cancer of the prostate, and some information about how to use the subject heading. Once we've read the scope note and made note of any information relevant to our search, we will use the previous page link to go back to the list of subject headings. Ovid doesn't always provide a previous page link, but when it does, it's best to use it instead of the browser's back button to avoid error messages. If the scope note indicates that the subject heading we have found is relevant, click on the subject heading itself. Subject headings are arranged in a hierarchy from very broad, like neoplasms, to very specific, like prostatic neoplasms castration resistant. This structure allows us to search for one specific term or a broader term along with all of the narrower terms below it in the hierarchy. In our case, we could choose to search the subject prostatic neoplasms on its own, or we could decide that castration-resistant prostate cancer is also relevant. If it is relevant, we can explode the broader subject heading prostatic neoplasms by using the checkbox beside it in the column on the right headed Explode, and search for both terms at the same time. To search for our chosen subject headings, we scroll to the top of the page, click Continue, and then Continue again. Now we have found all of the articles that Ovid Medline has identified as being about prostate cancer using the exploded subject heading prostatic neoplasms. Now let's look at how to find and search subject headings in Ebsco CINAHL. In CINAHL, you can find subject headings using the CINAHL Headings tab under the search bars, or you can use the search bars themselves as long as you check off Suggest Subject Terms below them. Let's start from the search bars. Type the word or phrase you are looking for a subject heading for in the search bars. Make sure Suggest Subject Terms below the search bar is checked off, and then use the Suggest Terms button on the right-hand side. Now you will see a list of subject headings that may be related to prostate cancer. You can also see that some of them will not be very helpful in looking for prostate cancer articles, so we need to think carefully. Which terms will find prostate cancer articles? We don't want prostate on its own. That will find lots of prostate articles that are not about cancer at all. Let's click on prostatic neoplasms to take a closer look. Here we have the used for terms which look promising. And if we scroll down, we can see that in the subject heading hierarchy, prostatic neoplasms is narrower than genital neoplasms male, and narrower than prostatic diseases, but broader than prostatic neoplasms castration resistant. Let's choose prostatic neoplasms by checking off the box on the left-hand side and explode it to include prostatic neoplasms castration resistant using the explode box on the far right-hand side. Once those are checked off, we can scroll up and click on Add to Search. If we look at the search bars, we can now see MH prostatic neoplasms plus has been added to the first line. If we click on the search button below the search bars on the right-hand side, we can see all of the results that Ebsco CINAHL has identified as being about prostate cancer.